Come enjoy this story with me. So this is one of my favorite authors growing up. Her name is Judy Blume. And I was just reading the introduction about when she sold her first book. How exciting. It was about the green kangaroo. Very, very exciting stuff to have a first book published. Now I'm off to chapter 1. Chapter 1 is called Elizabeth, Miami Elizabeth. Judith Sussman was born on February 12, 1938 in Elizabeth, New Jersey. Her father, Rudolph, was a dentist. Her mother, Esther, was a stay-at-home mom. She had a brother, David, who was 4 years older than her. Her father was outgoing, fun-loving, and adventurous. Her mother was quieter and worried about everything. She worried about her family getting hurt. She worried about whether Judy was doing well in school, about how Judy looked, and even if Judy had any friends. Judy was a combination of both her parents. She tried to be adventurous, but she was also worried a lot. Judy was very shy when she was young, but she always had a vivid imagination. She made up stories while she bounced a ball off the wall of the house. She took piano lessons and pretended that she was a piano teacher with her own group of students. She even had a notebook in which she kept track of her imaginary students' lessons. She dreamed of being a cowgirl, a spy, an actress, a ballerina, or a detective when she grew up. Judy's father was an air raid warden during World War II. He was supposed to help move people to safer places if the town of Elizabeth was bombed. Her mother and grandmother knitted sweaters to send to their soldiers fighting in Europe. The whole family sat around the radio in the evenings and listened to news about the war. Ballerinas and cowgirls and radio. Cute stuff. Here they are listening to the radio. That's all there was back then. No TV, just radio. Judy could hear her parents whispering about it late at night. She worried about the possibility of the war coming to America and about her town being bombed. Her stories were her escapes, though. In real life, she might have feared many things, but in the stories she made up, Judy always beat the enemy. She was always brave and strong. She was the hero. Although this made her feel better, she kept her stories secret. Adults often seem to have secrets. Why shouldn't she have them too? Judy loved going to the movies and reading. She would visit the library and just wander past the shelves, picking up anything that looked interesting. Her favorite books were the Nancy Drew stories, the Oz books, and the Betsy Taxi books about two friends in Minnesota. The Betsy Taxi books. The Betsy Taxi books are a series of 13 books written by Maud Hart Lovelace, based on Lovelace's memories of her own childhood. The books describe adventures of Betsy and Tacky, two friends growing up in Minnesota in the early years of the 20th century. The first book begins with Betsy and Tacky meet at age 5, and the last one ends in 1917 when Betsy is married and her husband is getting ready to go off to fight in World War I. The books were published from 1940 to 1955. Young girls who began reading the series in the early 40s grew up with stories of Betsy and Taxi. The story still has many fans today, as one generation of readers has passed the books down to another. In 1946, Judy's brother became very sick. His doctor suggested that moving to a warmer place might help David's health. Judy and her mother, brother, grandmother all moved to Florida for the year. Her father stayed in New Jersey to be near his patients and continue working. He came to visit the rest of the family in Florida once a month. At first, Judy hated being away from home. She was only 9 years old, and as she worried about her father was doing all alone back in New Jersey, but then she started to have fun, and she went roller skating and rode her bike. She visited the nearby beach and swam in the Atlantic Ocean. She took ballet lessons, and she made new friends. Judy began to change while she was in Florida. She became more outgoing. When she returned home to New Jersey, she was no longer shy. She began to spend more time with her friends and at school activities, In 7th grade, she became best friends with a girl named Mary Sullivan. They were inseparable. Judy's brother was quiet and didn't work very hard in school. Judy often felt she had to work twice as hard to make up for David. She put a lot of effort into her studies and tried to please her parents. She kept all the worries to herself and always acted happy. But sometimes the stress was too much for Judy. Throughout her childhood, she was sick with stomach trouble and skin problems. When Judy got to middle school, she found that books written for girls that age didn't interest her. She didn't care for stories about girls with horses or girls who grew up on farms out on the prairie. She wanted to read books about girls like her with some of her same problems. Sometimes she even made up books for her school book reports, some about the adventures of the horse named Dobin, because she thought that it sounded like the type of book teachers would accept her to read. She often got as on her fake reports because they sounded so much like real books. She'd get excellent A+ on her fake books. None of the books Judy supposed to like answered the kinds of questions that were on her mind. She and her friends wanted to know more about what it was like to grow up and to learn all the details they could about their changing bodies. But the adults they knew either evaded their questions or gave them scientific explanations that didn't help much. Judy and her friends promised that they would share all their experiences and tell one another how they really felt. That's what friends are for. But still, Judy had thoughts and feelings she didn't understand. She didn't want scientific explanations. She wanted to know what puberty would really be like. She wondered if she was the only one who felt this way. Was she normal? Judy wished there was a book that told her that she wasn't alone with her thoughts and emotions, but there wasn't. Chapter 2, Mrs. Blume. Beginning in 1952, Judy went to an all-girls high school. She kept busy with many activities. She joined a school dance and sang in the choir. She and Mary Sullivan were co-editors of the school newspaper. They tried out for plays and dreamed about becoming famous actresses. They had a lot of fun together. I'm gonna take a little break skis. I realized we got to chapter 2. Hopefully I come back to tell you guys later and keep reading this. I don't know. I just bought it on Amazon the other day. Looks like it was at the library. So, anywho, if you liked it, check out my other videos. I might have already finished reading it for you. See you later.